Hi guys, it's Amy with Keto with Amy. I welcome you to my channel. I thank you for joining me for my second video. I would like to first thank everybody who has been commenting and messaging me on not only my first video, but on Facebook as well. Just thank you for your support and your encouragement and your follows on this new kind of YouTube thing that we're doing. I'm very excited, and I appreciate your support so much and your friendship so much, and I thank you. I thank you for your support. I also wanted to apologize for how many ums I used in the first video. It was very nerve-wracking, and apparently I use every 2, 3, 4th word throughout the video, so I'm going to try my hardest to stay away from the ums this time. Bear with me as I get a little more comfortable each time making a video. It's odd. It's fun, but it's odd. So I wanted to touch base on a couple of things that, if you're looking to start keto, that you might find beneficial to have ready for you when you're ready to jump and get started. There were a couple of things I hadn't realized that would be very helpful to me, and after going through a couple of Facebook pages, I saw people were using certain things, certain tools that kept them on track with their macros and measuring ketones and things like that. So there are a couple of things that are very helpful for somebody, especially just starting out on keto. I hadn't realized that my idea of a 4-ounce piece of chicken was not, in fact, a 4-ounce piece of chicken. I was way off with measurements and sizes, and they say the palm of your hand, but that's not always the case as well. So the first thing that I purchased once I realized that I was mismeasuring my portions was a kitchen scale. This little kitchen scale here will measure ounces and grams, which comes in very handy. Sometimes recipes only come in grams, so it's nice to have. Very easy to use. I bought it on Amazon. I believe it was $7.99, and it has helped me tremendously. Even now, I sometimes find myself getting a little greedy with my protein portions, and I've got to kind of get myself back into check, throw a piece of meat on here, and measure. And sometimes I still find myself off, and I need to cut back an ounce or two. It's very important when you're counting your macros, when you're keeping track of them, that you try to stay within the measurements of what works best for your body and the weight you're trying to lose and the changes you're trying to make within your body. So this is amazing. Amazon.com, or I'm sure any kitchen store around you. I'm sure somebody carries it close if you didn't want to order online. Also, there is such a thing as measuring your ketones at the very beginning to determine whether you are in ketosis or not. And what I found to be the easiest for me at the beginning, and again, sometimes I am questioning where I am, if I'm in ketosis, if I've fallen out, maybe I've eaten a little bit too much of something and kind of kicked myself out for the day. These come in very handy. A lot of people on the keto websites will just call them pee sticks, urine sticks. A lot of diabetics will use these to measure the sugar in their urine. This comes in handy for us starting keto because it will help you figure out when your body is producing the ketones that you need to get you into ketosis. And really all you do, to be graphic, I guess, you take a little stick out. There's a little stick in here. There's a bunch of them. And you literally just pee right on there. You give it about 15 seconds, and there is a graph on the side of this. And you are going to just hold this up and kind of match it to whatever color is on here. When you first are in ketosis, you are going to measure, you're hoping to measure between moderate and large. This one here is moderate and this here is large. If you're measuring in here, you may not be taking in enough water, and that can actually indicate that you are a little dehydrated. Once you're in really these three colors, you're in ketosis. It'll take anywhere from 3 to 5 days. I think it took me 4 days to go from pretty much kicking out all sugar, and I'm really limiting my carbs to for my ketosis to actually show up on this. A lot of people, once they're doing keto for a while, they use a blood test. It's a little, I don't really know too much about it. I have not ever used it. It can pretty much, you can kind of tell when your body's in ketosis. It feels different, it runs different, but some people still like to check through their blood what their ketones are at. I've read and I've heard that it is the most accurate, but when you are first starting keto, these are just fine. You can get them at Target, you can get them at CVS, I think behind the counter, you have to ask for them. At Walmart, that's where I buy these. They are, I think they're $6 or $7, and this one here has 50 test strips, so you get almost 2 months out of this. It's a little addicting at first when you start to check if you're in ketosis. I found myself sometimes so excited about getting into ketosis and staying in ketosis that I would test myself 2 or 3 times a day, which is absolutely unnecessary. A lot of people say once a week is okay, but really you don't want to be testing yourself more than once a day. It's just a waste of the strips, and you're going to go through them very fast. Once a day, typically evening is better. In the morning, your body, you kind of wake up to sleeping overnight with possibly a full bladder, and it's not going to show you the same results as an evening test. So it's good to test later in the afternoon, closer to evening. That will give you your best reading. Like I said, it'll take anywhere from 3 to 5 days. Some people take a little longer. It all depends, I think, on your body, the way your body's made up, and it's exciting when it happens. You hear about reaching ketosis, and that's your focus for a little while. You want to get into ketosis. And some of the things that I experienced while starting keto, I had heard about the keto flu. A lot of people do experience it. I think the degree of the flu symptoms and what you might feel depends on how dependent you were on carbs and sugar. I was pretty big into bread, pasta, sandwiches were my thing. Lots of processed white sugar in my iced coffee, in my hot coffee. It was everywhere. So about the second day of cutting all sugar out, I kind of went cold turkey. You can do that. You can slowly cut out your sugar, kind of take it out of your coffee, and then whatever you add sugar to, you slowly take it out. Your carbs, you can also do slowly. A lot of people aim at the very beginning for 25 grams of net carb, and that's okay. You can absolutely strive for that at the very beginning. A lot of people start at 50 and take themselves down. It all depends on what you're comfortable with, what your body tells you it's comfortable with. Don't ever not feel good. You need to read your body. You need to listen to your body. If you cut way back on carbs and you're just not feeling right, up them a little bit. It's at the very beginning, especially. You can kind of play. There's a little bit of wiggle room until you feel comfortable where you are. I started right off at trying to hit 25 grams of carb. I stopped sugar. I stopped all breads, pastas, potato, anything that had high carbohydrates in them. I stopped everything. I also at the same time cut out coffee. I was a huge fan of iced coffee, and I got to where I was drinking 2 to 3 iced coffees a day, but with each coffee I was throwing in 4 to 5 to 6 to 7 spoonfuls of sugar. And so that was a little hard to do, but I figured if I was doing it, I was going to do it all at once. I was going to get through it. My keto flu, to get back to the keto flu, mine consisted of a headache that I thought was going to be the end of me. I went to bed very early that night. I woke up, when I started keto, I woke up in the morning. I had 3 scrambled eggs. I had 3 pieces of bacon and a half an avocado with pink salt. That's what I started with. The night before, I believe I had a big bowl of pasta, but that morning I'm going to do it. I didn't have coffee that day, so there was a lot going on to cause that headache to happen. The stress, your body, it's a full detox. It's a full flush of carbs and unnecessary, unhealthy carbs. So your body goes into this state of, I don't know what's going on. I don't like this. The headache, like I said, put me to bed pretty early that night. You may feel achy, kind of like the flu. There should never be a time where you are in pain, ever. A time that you should be in pain. There is never a time where you should ever feel feverish. There is never a time where you should vomit. If that happens, you need to just step back and give it a little bit, eat something. Some people keto doesn't agree with right away. Some people keto doesn't agree with at all, ever. 95% of the people who try keto, though, it does agree with you. You just have to get through it. My keto flu lasted about 3 days. I was pretty tired, just very, didn't really feel like doing anything. I really didn't have a lot of energy. And like I said, your body's going through a lot of changes all at once, and you're doing a full detox. The headache passed after that first day, and what I needed to start paying attention to was keeping my electrolytes up. And 2 of the best ways that I was told to do it, and that worked amazingly for me, was pickle juice, which luckily I love to drink pickle juice, so that was not a problem for me. Some people, they can't do it. Just a couple of swigs of pickle juice will get rid of any cramping, because your legs may tend to cramp a little bit, just because some of the potassium and the sodium and sometimes magnesium are being pulled as you're flushing your carbs out. And also Gatorade. It needs to be the sugar-free, and if you can do it, the 0 calorie as well. It, in my opinion and my daughter's opinion, it actually tastes better than the original Gatorade formula. It's amazing. It will make you, in a matter of 15 seconds, feel like you can't do it, to feeling very, very good and very on top of things. It just kind of fills up, just kind of tops off the reserve. One thing I did do when I started keto, only because medical things, my body and the way things run, that's one of my anxieties, is always worrying about how things are running, if I'm doing okay, if my levels are low, I need to fix them. So I contacted my doctor and asked them to run some lab work, and I had my potassium, my sodium, and my magnesium checked, and those are the top 3 things that you need to possibly have checked every couple of months or so, just until you get acclimated to keto, just to make sure that those things aren't becoming low. They're not depleting. You want to make sure that your body is still running efficiently, and you never want to get too low on those types of things. Let me see. Other than that, a good multivitamin you should definitely pick up. It helps regardless of keto or just eating normally. It's good for you. It helps to keep everything in check, keep everything balanced. And then other than that, the main tool that I used, it was a game changer. It was a godsend. It is an app that you can get on your phone. It is called Senza. It's Senza. Install that on your phone. It will be the difference between day and night for you. It has this little information box that you put everything in, your current weight, your goal weight, your height, your age, your gender, and it will figure out for you by what you weigh now and what you would like to weigh. It will figure out for you your macros of your carbohydrates, your proteins, and your fats. And that will be your guide, especially at the very beginning, until you can start feeling out, what a cup of broccoli counts as for carbs, as opposed to a cup of mushrooms. It's going to be a game changer for you. It takes a lot of the guesswork out. It keeps you on track. It keeps you accountable for what you're eating, especially with carbohydrates. I believe when you first put your information in, it will automatically put you to 25 grams for carbs. If that doesn't work for you, you can change that. After every 5 or 10 pounds, you can go in and change what your weight is, and it will recalculate, and it will give you the new numbers to follow. And like I said, it's a game changer. I still now, even a year and a half in, I just put my stuff in yesterday just to check, just to make sure I'm not getting too comfortable in what I'm eating, my sizes, and there have been a couple of times that I've oversized something that I've eaten, and I just have to think, start putting your stuff in for a couple of days. You got to get back on track. You don't want to mess around with things. That's a lot of information. But it's a lot of things, a lot of those things I started with at the very beginning. I was lucky to have a couple of people that I was able to message and just say, I don't get this. I don't get what's going on. You don't get discouraged. If, say you decide you are going to start keto and you're going to start tomorrow morning, you have to give your body time to adjust, resituate itself. A lot of us that start keto, we have things going on inside that, our health maybe isn't so great, or our body, inflammation, arthritis, diabetes, these things, cancer, even, we may have things going on inside. You have to give yourself time. You have to be patient. You have to just push through and keep chugging along with eating the foods the way that you're supposed to. If you're doing this for weight loss, you will see weight loss. You will. It's impossible not to. And at the beginning, it may come off rather quickly. A real significant weight loss you may not see for 2 weeks or 3 weeks. Your body is taking the time to heal itself. It's healing the inflammation. It's accepting the new way that you're eating. It's realizing that you're not running on carbs anymore. You're not running on sugar. Your body is becoming efficient, and it will soon become fat adapted. And when that happens, that is when your body has decided to use your fat stores as fuel. And that is when the weight starts to come off. And depending on how much you have to lose is how quickly it seems to be for some people. The heavier that some of us are, the quicker that it comes off at the beginning. So it all really, each one of us is different. It's going to work differently for each of us. But you just have to be patient. You have to, after 3 days, keep pushing, keep eating the way that, the app is telling you. Keep eating within those numbers, and you will start to feel better. You will. It's almost instantaneous, the sleep that you will get at night. I felt like I had not truly slept in years after my first night of sleeping on keto. It was amazing. I can't even explain it. I could not believe it. I couldn't believe it, but I felt so good. I bounced out of bed, and that's not a fib. I just felt amazing. And as little things happen in your body and you start feeling better, you're going to want to do better, and it pushes you to continue to do better and follow through. Cooking becomes fun. You get to make some pretty cool things that people can't believe that you can eat and still lose weight, but you can, and you will. It's pretty amazing. So I'm excited for anybody who's here and who's sat through almost 22 minutes of me talking. I hope some of the things that I talked about will help in you preparing for keto if it's something that you're looking to do. And I would like to do another video tomorrow to talk about macros. I'm hoping to be able to show Senza, just to kind of show you how to work through things, how to understand what some things mean, and really explain how macros work and how to keep them in check, and share a couple of things that I ate at the beginning. Very simple. Don't start your first day of keto trying to make an incredible 7-course keto meal. Don't do it. Chicken, a vegetable, and a fat will work wonders for you, and it's what your body needs to heal and adjust and start working the way that you want it to. So don't get lost in all of the recipes on certain websites. Keep it simple. I'll come on tomorrow and I'll throw out some things that I ate that they just worked. They worked, and my body was happy. And I was happy for feeling better and for changing things for myself. And I know that it will be amazing if you decide to do it. And so if you want to join me tomorrow, I'll try to get a video up a little earlier. I'm kind of a night owl. I feel my most comfortable and productive at night, but I will try better to get these things out earlier in case you need something. The day that I post a video, it'll be earlier instead of when most people are going to bed. So I thank you for joining me. And like I said before, if you have any questions, feel free to put them in the comments. And thank you again so much for the kind comments. I appreciate it so much. And it made me feel really good and really positive about stepping into this and getting out there to work with everybody and do keto. So I thank you, and I will see you on my next video. Thanks so much.